That may be the greatest catch I've ever seen in my life.
Okay, guys, I know that the editing in this video may not be exactly what you are used to because I'm having to edit this one on my own. We don't have Thomas the God out here doing it for us, but I needed to make sure that we recorded this as close to kickoff as possible. That way I can get you the most up-to-date injury updates that we are going to have for week 1. I'm going to do this throughout the entire season. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Hit the bell next to the subscribe button. That way you can come out to our live streams where we are live every single night answering start-sit questions. We premiere all the videos where you can see me down there in the comment section. I've probably answered 1,000 comments asking start-sit questions so far this week. We're going to continue to do that. Just make sure you subscribe, hit that bell, and of course, drop that like on the video. And before we get into these exact players, I do have to inform y'all on our fantastic partner for the 2021 fantasy football season in Underdog Fantasy. Now with Underdog Fantasy, so many of y'all have heard this before, but this is about your last chance to take advantage of their $25 deposit bonus, where if you deposit $10 with promo code FLOCK, you get $25 added to your account. We're going to be doing drafts there throughout the entire season. We're going to do weekly drafts where you can come out, get out on one in a live stream with me. They have some pick'em lines, which I have no idea how they're supposed to be making money off these because it seems like anybody with a pulse can win those pick'em lines. We'll be talking about that on our Flock Bets sporting channel. So make sure you use promo code FLOCK on Underdog Fantasy. Make that $10 deposit bonus. Get $25 added to your account. Get our 2021 rankings. Get our 2021 draft guide. And support the channel most importantly. That should be it. Let's go through and let's talk about Odell Beckham Jr., who is officially cleared to play week 1. Now, this is going to be a matchup going up against the Kansas City Chiefs, where I actually think that you can be a little excited about Odell because, I mean, he is going to be in a game where the Browns can't run. Now, they may try to do that at the very beginning to keep the game under control, to make sure that Patrick Mahomes can't get the ball in his hands right away. And the last thing you want if you're the Cleveland Browns is to turn this game into a shootout against Patrick Mahomes, because I know that they were college rivals. I know that they were compared significantly back in the day. But Baker Mayfield, Patrick Mahomes, nobody's going to come out here and assume that they are anywhere close to the same level. So the Browns are going to try to run the ball right away. But we know the Chiefs are going to put up points. If you look at Las Vegas right now, they actually have the Chiefs with the second highest team implied total for week 1. The Chiefs are going to be able to put up points. And what that's going to mean is that means in the second half, the Browns are going to have to throw the ball. And now Odell is cleared with that knee injury. So if you're ever planning on starting Odell Beckham Jr., I would have to imagine that this would be a favorable matchup for you to go out there and do so. We actually have him ranked as a top 24 wide receiver this week. And I know a lot of people are giving us hate for having Mike Evans as the 6th wide receiver with him being questionable going into the week. Well, we're having Odell as that top 24 wide receiver with him going questionable into the week. And Chris Godwin paid off for us. And I think that Odell Beckham Jr. is going to be doing the same thing here. Now, a running back that is cleared to go and is supposed to get a full workload, not going to be on a snap count, is going to be DAndre Swift for this upcoming week. Now, I have been adamant that with DAndre Swift, this is a player that I actually like for 2021. I want to go out and get him on our rosters. But the problem is with the DAndre Swift, I'm looking at it as a situation and saying, what's the real incentive for the Detroit Lions to push anything here? Because we know that with the Lions, they are massive underdogs here. I think people are going to be surprised to see how talented this San Francisco 49ers defense is going to be when they are fully healthy. And this should be an offense with Jimmy Garoppolo that's not going to make that many mistakes. And what this is going to lead to happen is this going to lead it to where the Detroit Lions are not having that many trips to the red zone. I would be very surprised if the Lions score 3 or more touchdowns this upcoming week. I mean, there's pretty much no chance that's going to happen. I think that this is going to be a very stagnant offense. And I understand the argument that a lot of people are going to say, well, Mason, DAndre Swift is a great pass catching running back. DAndre Swift is matchup proof because he is going to get targeted out of the backfield. While yes, I do agree with that sentiment in every week that DAndre Swift is 100% healthy. At the same time, I just think that if you're playing DAndre Swift this week instead of some other running backs that you could go with, I mean, keep in mind, it's week 1. We don't have that many injuries. We don't have any bye weeks at all. You should have a significant amount of options on your roster. Guys like Damian Harris, Raheem Mostert, Myles Gaskin, players that I don't want anywhere near DAndre Swift for the rest of the season, of course we would prefer Swift. But for week 1 in particular, I actually think it may make sense to go with one of those other options, as DAndre Swift is working his way back from the injury. DAndre Swift got no usage in the preseason. DAndre Swift got very limited run in training camp. And with all those factors going into an atrocious matchup against the 49ers, where you shouldn't have this offense near the red zone that many drives, I think that Swift, even though he should have a quote-unquote full workload, he's going to be someone we're trying to get on our bench. I do not want DAndre Swift in our lineup. Worst case scenario, absolute worst case scenario, DAndre Swift comes out and he burns us and he ends up getting, just say 11 carries for 48 yards. He gets 5 receptions for another 48 yards. And all of a sudden we're going, oh God, DAndre Swift, he did get that full workload. He scored 15 fantasy points this week. I think the ceiling's very capped. Worst case scenario, he is a mid running back 2 if you go out there and bench him. So I'm going to be just wanting to wait and see with DAndre Swift. I think we plan to start him in week 2, not going to be pushing anything in week 1. Now, Austin Ekeler is officially ruled cleared to play, or at least expected to play in week 1. This is kind of what we were talking about in the live streams earlier this week, where everybody and their mom was freaking out as if we had never seen an injury ever before. We had never seen a player miss practice. But what we said in the live stream is, guys, this is going to be happening every single week with a handful of players for the next 17 weeks. The only reason that this Austin Ekeler injury got blown out of proportion was it was the first guy that we were looking at missing practice going into a week where we were not necessarily expecting it. People were writing off the fear that you actually just had with the Gus Edwards injury, that you just had with so many other running backs. And they were going, oh my God, Austin Ekeler, he's the next guy. He didn't practice. Guys, it's fine. Please do not overreact to those injuries. When a player misses practice, while yes, it should perk your ears up, while yes, you should go, okay, this is something that we need to go through and at least monitor over the next few days, you should not just go out of your way and say, oh my God, we got to freak out. We got to go watch every single video that we can of some people trying to get you scared about Austin Ekeler so they get a lot of views on YouTube. No, that's not the way to go about it. The way to go about it is just be a little bit patient and understand that the team doctors are going to give us information once we get closer to the game. Now, our next player is our guy, our savior. Trey Lance looks like he is now throwing the ball again. Trey Lance looks like he will be active in this game. Now, of course, you're going to have Jimmy Garoppolo starting, and I have been on record saying that with Trey Lance, he was 100% going to be the starting quarterback by the time we got to week 4. Now, with this injury and with him not being prepared, let me walk that back. With him not preparing at all with the team leading up until week 1, I'm not going to be that surprised if it now takes Trey Lance until about week 5 or week 6 to take the job over from Jimmy Garoppolo, because we're looking at it going, well, the 49ers are a very good team. Now that Lance did suffer that thumb injury, we know that you're actually going to have Jimmy G 100% as the starting quarterback in week 1. If you actually looked at Vegas lines, it looked like they were 100% trending for it to be a 50-50 split for week 1 before the injury between Trey Lance and Jimmy Garoppolo. Now, it looks like Jimmy G is going to be that guy good to go in week 1. It's going to be a massive blowout against the Detroit Lions. And it would be very hard for the 49ers to go out and have Jimmy Garoppolo blow out the Lions, then all of a sudden decide to start Trey Lance in week 2. So it sucks that Lance had the injury in the first place, but at least he is trending in the right direction. So now our next guy will be Darnell Mooney. And Darnell Mooney just practiced fully. I know he's still listed as questionable. Personally, I'm not worried at all with Darnell Mooney. I'm not that excited about getting him in this game, however, because you're looking at it going, well, A, he's not going to have the best quarterback play here, and B, this is a very tough defense. Now, I know a lot of people are going to focus in on the fact that Allen Robinson is going to go up against Jalen Ramsey, and a lot of people are going to go, oh, well, doesn't that mean that Darnell Mooney is going to be opened free downfield? Doesn't that mean that they're going to be targeting Darnell Mooney heavily? Well, while yes, you can try to spin it positively in that light for you, I'm going to be a little more reluctant to go about that way, because we're more so just taking a step back and going, okay, well, at the end of the day, this is going to be a team that does not put up very many points against the Los Angeles Rams defense. This is a fantastic defense that I think we should be avoiding at almost all costs with our starters. So Darnell Mooney is going to be included in that scenario, where I just think that because it's week 1, you don't have any bye weeks. There are very limited injuries. Darnell Mooney should not be someone that's hitting your starting lineup in a shallow redraft format. So now our next wide receiver is going to be Kenny Golladay, who has been removed from the injury report and should be good to go this week. So we're going to kind of throw in two guys here. Let's throw in Kenny Golladay and Evan Ingram. And we're looking at this and saying, okay, well, with Evan Ingram being ruled out for week 1, I actually think this does make Kenny Golladay slightly more appealing now, because you're looking at the Giants and saying, well, Saquon Barkley is questionable. While Evan Ingram is ruled out, while Kadarius Toney was really not with the team at all during training camp or the preseason due to a multitude of injuries, due to being on the COVID list, yada, yada, yada. I mean, they are having a very limited options. It's pretty much going to be down between Kenny Golladay, Darius Slayton, and Sterling Shepard for this week. And I think because of that, you could look at it in a light and try to spin it positively for Kenny Golladay. But this is going to be another scenario where I know I'm being boring. I know, guys, that I'm playing a little scared here. It would be completely different if we were in week 7 right now and we go, oh my gosh, we got so many guys on bye. We have a couple players injured. We need to find some depth wide receiver. Let's throw Kenny Golladay in there for the flex spot. But if you have a better option, I understand Golladay is healthy. I understand it. Trust me, I know. But I would avoid if we can. This has been a player that hasn't been with this team at all during preseason to go along with it. He was barely there in training camp. He's switching teams. I don't love the fit in New York. So yeah, I'm going to be avoiding Kenny Golladay where we can. However, another player on this offense, we mentioned him previously, Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley. If Barkley is active, which I'm expecting him to be, Saquon Barkley, you plug and play him, put him out there. I understand a lot of people are worried about a week 1 snap count. I understand that. However, 75% Saquon Barkley is more valuable than 90% of running backs in the NFL. Now, of course, if you're playing in like a 6-man or an 8-man format and you can only start up to 2 or 3 running backs most, if you're playing in a ridiculous league, then sure, you can consider benching Saquon Barkley. But if you're like in a spot where you're going, okay, do I play Saquon Barkley or Javonte Williams? Stop it. Stop it. You play Saquon Barkley. Yes, he's questionable right now for week 1. I'm expecting what we get from Barkley is we actually have him out there and we're going to have him mainly in the passing down role, and they're going to use him if this game's close, which I expect this to be a close game. And I just think that you have to play him. You drafted him in the first round for a reason. Some of y'all were able to get him in the second, which kudos to you. This may be one week that we don't get full strength Saquon Barkley. We probably ranked him a little too high in our running back rankings this week, but still Saquon Barkley, I'm going to be excited about. So now our next player, he actually already played, but I want to give you all an update on his injury. Is going to be Michael Gallup. Here, Michael Gallup's going to be out 3 to 5 weeks with a calf strain, and this is just wheels up to CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper. I mean, you already looked at it as a situation where clearly CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper were going to be fantastic bets in fantasy this year based on what you had with the Dallas Cowboys defense, based on what you had with Dak Prescott coming back in full strength. We have been nonstop hammering both CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper in the 3rd round of fantasy drafts pretty much all offseason now. Now, without Michael Gallup, I mean, this is a spot where you could really see them take over, because now it's a situation that Cedric Wilson's going to be the 3rd leading receiver on this team. I just think you're going to see Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb force-fed over and over and over again, and it's not like a situation where without Michael Gallup, this Dallas Cowboys offense isn't going to move the ball down the field. We already saw them last week in a very tough matchup against the Buccaneers. They found success in throwing the ball deep downfield, and also their offensive line wasn't at 100%. So, yeah, this is Michael Gallup injury. Yeah, it sucks for Michael Gallup owners. I'll say we got very lucky, and if you look at all my leagues and my exposures, I have way more Amari Cooper. I have way more CeeDee Lamb than we have Michael Gallup. So it feels good. I feel lucky. But, yeah, sucks to be Michael Gallup. Sucks to be his owners. And now our next update will be Carson Wentz is going to start week 1 for the Indianapolis Colts. Now here, obviously, you're not considering starting Carson Wentz against the Seattle Seahawks. However, I think this does make both Michael Pittman and Jonathan Taylor more appealing. Jonathan Taylor, a must-start running back no matter what. Now, I understand a lot of people want to say, well, Mason, Nyheim Hines, did you not see his extension? Can someone please go to the comment section and let me know what Nyheim Hines getting extended beyond this season changes anything for week 1 right now. It doesn't change anything at all, guys. Jonathan Taylor is going to have that same exact role in Nyheim Hines' extension or not. You were never expecting Jonathan Taylor to just completely remove Nyheim Hines from this offense. I will say, if for whatever reason, Jonathan Taylor was able to supplant Nyheim Hines and remove him, Jonathan Taylor would have been a top 4 pick in fantasy drafts. He probably would have been the 104, only behind CMC, Dalvin, and Alvin Kamara. Of course, you were getting Jonathan Taylor at the beginning of the second for a large part because of Nyheim Hines. Now, I'm not going to take anything away from that scenario. I still think that here with Carson Wentz, it's going to be a situation that he can hopefully improve the Indianapolis Colts offense. I'm not willing to say that's 100% going to happen. I know a lot of Carson Wentz truthers are. I think it's in the range of outcomes, however, and I'm going to be all in on Jonathan Taylor. I'm going to be giving a bump up to Michael Pittman, given the T.Y. Hilton injury, given the health of Carson Wentz at the same time. So yeah, bump up Michael Pittman. I think now he can be an intriguing option for your flex spot, only if you were desperate. If you were desperate, if you're playing in a dynasty format, if you're playing in a 14-team league, then yes, consider Michael Pittman. I would probably look to avoid this situation and at least just check out the game and watch it to see what we're going to have from Carson Wentz. But yeah, it's optimistic that he is starting week 1. He is 100% starting week 1, which can make us optimistic about the situation. Now, a receiver that we recorded our must-bench wide receiver video early in the week, and then by the time it came out, right before Curtis Samuel got placed on the IR. So yeah, Curtis Samuel, I'm sorry for everybody who had to watch that must-bench wide receiver video and saw Curtis Samuel on there. I will say it's probably safe to say now that Curtis Samuel is someone that you should be benching for this week because he re-aggravates that groin injury. And the biggest takeaway here is, with the re-aggravation of this injury and with Curtis Samuel now missing the beginning part of the season, y'all know I have been going on a tour. I've been just yelling into this microphone week in and week out that Terry McLaurin was horribly overdrafted, that people were taking him over Keenan Allen, people were taking him over Allen Robinson, and I thought it was the worst thing in fantasy drafts. Well, congrats. Just like I thought James Robinson was being overrated, and then you got the Travis Etienne injury. Just like I thought Terry McLaurin was being overrated, and you got the Curtis Samuel being placed on the short-term IR after re-aggravating his own injury, which he was supposed to go for week 1. Terry McLaurin may look like he is a full-on league winner. Terry McLaurin and Logan Thomas need to be getting that bump up because now they're going to be in the same exact situation as last year, at least until halfway through the year, when then you get Diami Brown coming and at least taking a small role into this offense. But Terry McLaurin, Logan Thomas are going to be fantastic options, not only for this week, but going forward as well. And yeah, if you were taking Terry McLaurin over Keenan Allen before the Curtis Samuel injury, I will say you were probably a fish, but even a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while. Okay, so now our last injury update is going to be with Jamison Crowder. Jamison Crowder does get put on the COVID list, so he is going to miss this week. And that doesn't necessarily make a massive impact for your Jamison Crowder shares because you were never planning on starting Jamison Crowder anyway. But who you were potentially considering is Elijah Moore. Now, I'm not going to be surprised this week if Elijah Moore comes out and Elijah Moore is the highest scoring rookie wide receiver. I know a lot of people feel confident to plug and play Devonta Smith into their starting lineup right away. Do not do it. Please do not just go out there and plug and play him right away. If you're playing in a dynasty format with deeper starting lineup requirements, then yes, I'm playing Devonta Smith in a few of those leagues. But if you're playing in a shallow redraft league where you start 2 wide receivers and you only have 1 flex spot, do not be playing Smith. Elijah Moore, I actually think is going to be the better option this week when you have Jamison Crowder out. If there's going to be any rookie wide receiver that you can start, I'm going to peg it to be Elijah Moore. And obviously, Corey Davis is significantly more intriguing as well now. Now, thank you again for checking out this video. I really hope y'all enjoyed it. I really hope that you got something from it. Go to the comment section right now. Ask any start-sit questions that you may have. Make sure you subscribe to the channel as well because we are going to be going live multiple times before kickoff this Sunday, and we're going to be going live every single day throughout the entire season as well. And then also make sure you use promo code FLOCK on Underdog Fantasy. Make that $10 deposit. Get $25 added to your account. Get our 2021 rankings. Get our 2021 draft guide. Support the channel. And most importantly, come out to those live streams. Getting some weekly drafts with us. It's going to be a ton of fun. And yeah, that's all I got for y'all. Really hope you had a great day. And I really hope I see y'all on the live stream tonight.